Hey, how are you? I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Fantasy Six Pack to talk about Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints head to Kansas City to battle the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. As it stands now, the over/under is around 43 total points. And to be fair, this game is going to be a lot closer than some folks expect. And again, the Saints 2-2, Kansas City's 4-0. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's the big machine, the big red Andy Reid machine. They're undefeated and they're just going to lay waste to the Saints. I say no. It's going to be a lot closer than we expect, and a little bit of an under. I have a feeling it's going to be an under kind of game too for the total team implied point total from the whole sucker. Before we get into all the bells and whistles here, I have some fantastic recent betting trends, a final score, and player projections for each man that I'm going to speak about. Make sure you get to the website at fantasy6pack.net. When you get there, look around. This site has built its empire on rankings and projections. Always stays in the top 10, top 5 of overall rankings and how tight and everything is here. If you want some IDP stuff, you can find it there. Or if you're looking to just hang out with me, Dave, Keith, and the DFS guys, sports betting folks, Discord, And when you get there, it's free. There are some premium channels there, but you catch my drift. We've done this dance a bunch, and thank you for being here. When we look at this game, as I said, the Saints go to Kansas City to battle the Kansas City Chiefs here, over under 43 total points. And again, this game is going to be not what we expect. It's going to be a good game. I think we're looking at like a 21-17 final. Could even see it being 21-20, something like that. Last second, Kansas City's got the football. They score a touchdown. They give it to the Saints, and Saints, on a fourth and something at the end of the fourth quarter, they do not get it done. I think Kansas City wins, but it's closer than expected. Let's start with Derek Carr, shall we? And I have a lot of notes here I want to share. So if you see me looking down this way and not you directly in the eye, I do what I can. But there's some important stuff I want to get across to you today rather than just sitting around and going, just blabbering. Like, I don't know if anybody watched the WWE Bad Blood on Saturday. After the show was over, The Rock, everybody knows The Rock, everybody loves The Rock. He had someone following him around with his phone, and they're doing, like, they went on Instagram Live for like 10 minutes, and he talked and said absolutely nothing. And I've had folks say that to me in the past, right? You get on a live broadcast and you got like a whole 2-3 hour segment to fill, and you talk and you say some names, you say some stuff, and when it's all said and done, if folks feel like they watched me or listened to me and I talked and didn't say anything, I feel bad. But I'm telling you, The Rock is bigger than all of us combined, bigger than we'll all ever be. But it was so strange to see him talk and just said absolutely nothing. So I'm going to try to cut the fat, although that whole Rock spiel was fat that could be cut. But hey, it goes to my point here. Let's talk about Derek Carr. Kansas City is hosting the New Orleans Saints. Carr 14-5 on FanDuel, 9-6 on DK. Looks to, hopefully, fingers crossed, Carr looks to reignite this offense in the image of what it was, the first few weeks of the season. I have Derek Carr 20 to 21 completions, 225 yards, a touchdown pass. And when you look at the Kansas City DST, they're middle of the pack. They're not too high, they're not too low. They're right in the middle. They make their hay on an outstanding offense, and that's what their head coach is Andy Reid can do. But give me Derek Carr in this one. More downfield passes. That's what the Saints have been missing the last few weeks. So if you like Derek Carr and I'm saying we need more downfield passing, why wouldn't we skip ahead right to Rashid Shaheed here? He's 10 grand on FanDuel, 8 grand on DK, 6-7 targets, 4 to 5 receptions, around 60 yards. Rashid averaging 16.8 yards a reception. Well, Chris, you like Derek Carr. They're going to throw down the field more often. And when you look at what Kansas City's had just one 20-yard completion last week. Get this, the Kansas City Chiefs have allowed 4 20-plus yard completions this year. Again, we're looking at game 5, so only 4 20-yard receptions. It's just something to look at and pick upon on a single game slate. And if I'm going to go Derek Carr and Rashid Shaheed, why not Chris Olave? I'm not telling folks to fade Chris Olave. He's very much in play, but he's 12-5 on FanDuel, 10 grand on on DK, averaging around 13.3 yards a reception, 8-9 targets, 5 to 6 receptions. He's going to do well, but the ownership percentage, the only thing, I'm not fading Olave for Shaheed. I'm just saying I think there's a case to be made that Shaheed pops off a little bit more at lower ownership, and Carr and Shaheed, could it be a happy 1-2 punch here? Let's go back up to the quarterbacks briefly. Patrick Mahomes, we know what we're getting out of him, or do we, right? When you look at Patrick Mahomes, he has only the Saints DST has only given up one passing touchdown this whole season. When you look at Patrick Mahomes, he has just one 250-yard plus passing game one time the last 4, and his touchdown to interception ratio is not what it once was. And again, he'll probably pick up the pace, but as it stands right now, he's got 6 touchdowns in comparison to 5 interceptions. So Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes, but are we going to pay a $16,000 premium on FanDuel or $11,000 on DraftKings? That's up to you. I think we can get away from Patrick Mahomes in this game. Again, not saying let's willingly fade Patrick Mahomes. I think there's some pieces we can move around and safely get to the money line and cash without Patrick Mahomes. 240 yards, maybe a touchdown pass or 2 on 22 to 23 completions. The one guy I cannot live without tonight. MVP captain spot as many times as I can get my hands on it. That's Alvin Kamara. They're playing Kansas City, and you're going to say, whoa, Kansas City's first overall against running backs, but like 2 minutes ago you said that Kansas City's DST is kind of middle of the pack. Both can be true, right? And when you look at Alvin Kamara, going for his 5th straight 100-yard all-purpose yard game in a row, that would mean every game this season he's had 100 or more all-purpose yards. I think we get there again. I think we're over 100 all-purpose yards in this one. I have Alvin Kamara, 18-19 carries, 70 to 75 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and you add in 3 to 4 receptions for another 40 yards. So 7 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You're looking at 110 all-purpose yards as a floor. I'm not kidding. I think Alvin Kamara goes absolutely bonkers tonight. $17,000 on FanDuel, 11-4 on DK, going right over Jamal Williams, going right over Samaje Perine. Kareem Hunt could be the RB1, here on out for Kansas City until Pachenko gets back around, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire is doubtful. So is Kendre Miller for the New Orleans Saints, and that was like a bait and switch that they did with Kendre Miller. But hey, oh well, CEH was on a mental health break, something along those lines, but he is not. He's back and everything looks to be fine. He's just sick. He has an illness, looks to be fine long term. And when you look at Kareem Hunt, 11, 12 carries, 50 yards, I think he scores a touchdown on the ground and a reception or 2 for 15 yards. I just cannot get away from Alvin Kamara. And again, it's nothing I'm saying is shocking. Alvin Kamara has been a stone cold stud for a long time. We talked about Olave. We talked about Shaheed, Cedric Wilson or Mason Tipton. If you're like in a pinch and you need some salary relief, I would prefer Mason Tipton because in my notes it says Cedric Wilson Jr. Blah, explanation point. It is what it is. Mason Tipton, 1 to 2 targets, 1 to 2 receptions, and I'm thinking one of those could go for 15 plus yards. As I said, Carr wants to reignite this offense, and they're going to look. I'm just saying, I think the Saints are going to go for more downfield looks, more downfield passes, and that just suits Rashid Shaheed so well. When we look at the Kansas City wide receivers, we're about 8.5 minutes into this sucker. We'll keep it at 10. I know, folks, I say that all the time, and I put my foot in my mouth. I say that, and then in the comments on YouTube, well, you said it was going to be 8 minutes, but I meant 8 minutes plus 5 more. You could figure it out. We look at the Kansas City wide receivers. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is losing a lot of his options. Rashee Rice is the latest one, to get his knee hit by Patrick Mahomes, and then Rashee Rice's mom stealing packages while wearing her son's jersey that's, proclaims who she is. I'm Rashee Rice's mom. I'm going to steal this package. Not my business. I'll leave it alone from there. That just means that Justin Watson or, Sky Moore will be more active, right? When you look at Watson, everybody's going to, flock to stack him or use him in DFS formats. Why not? The price tags are just unbelievably low, especially on DK. Watson's only 3-4 on DK. And when you look, if you can go anywhere and look at player projections, when you look at Justin Justin Watson's, whatever you see on the screen is going to be a little bit lower than what he's going to do tonight, right? Normally it said, 1 or 2 targets, or maybe 2 to 3 targets, 1 to 2 receptions. I think we're looking at 3 to 4 targets, and we're looking at 3 to 4 receptions too. Not saying it's going to be a perfect, catching percentage here, but Justin Watson is going to be on the field of play early and often. He's averaged so far 14.5 yards a reception. Sky Moore, 15 to 20 yards on 2 receptions. McCall Hardman is questionable with a knee, something with a knee. If he plays, I'm all good there. When you look at the New Orleans Saints, their secondary's bottom 7 in catches and yards allowed to wide receivers. So Justin Watson, Sky Moore, that 1-2 punch, if you wanted to, stack Patrick Mahomes and the MVP captain, and then Watson, Sky Moore, and then we're looking at Travis Kelce, right? Is he washed? Is he not washed? I don't think he is, but Kelce hasn't scored a touchdown this year, and that's highly strange, highly unlikely given the fact that, kickoff tonight is the end of week 5. Kelce gets off the schneid. There's just no way he can go 5 weeks without scoring a touchdown. 7-8 targets, 5 to 6 receptions. We're looking at 55 to 60 yards and that touchdown reception. This is the reception. This is a touchdown. Go Detroit Tigers. As you can see, they're playing in Cleveland. By the time you watch this video, the game will have already started. And get this, New Orleans Saints dead last, 32nd overall against defending opposing tight ends. New Orleans also, they're 27th in terms of giving up receptions and yardage to opposing tight ends. Travis Kelce could have a big night tonight, a breakthrough, I should say. He's already broke out. He's already in his 30s, won how many Super Bowls. A breakthrough performance for Travis Kelce tonight. So if you're looking for the Kansas City stack, I have them to score 21 total points. If you want to go that route, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. That's, you could go to the corner store and catch some drunk bum on the corner in the alley that would tell you, hey, knows nothing about football or FanDuel, and he'd go, yeah, I'm still going to use Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They're so well known, but you want to mix in the likings of Justin Watson, Sky Moore, and then run it back with Alvin Kamara. Have at it. I said I think Kansas City wins this one 21-17 in a game that's closer than folks expect, because off the bat, you're looking at New Orleans 2-2, struggled the last 1 or 2 games. Kansas City rolling undefeated. The Saints will hang tough on the strength of Derek Carr looking down the field more often. That paints a wonderful DFS target right on Rashid Shaheed's chest, the back of it, however you want to put it. So give me, if you're looking for a New Orleans Saints stack, Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Rashid Shaheed, and probably, shockingly enough, Juwan Johnson at tight end for the New Orleans Saints. Looking at 2 to 3 targets and a reception or 2. Get some recent betting trends and we'll get the heck out of here. Just shy of, hopefully, fingers crossed, 14 minutes as we get up to the 13-minute mark. The New Orleans Saints 1-5 against the spread their last 6 games. Kansas City 8-1 against the spread their last 10. The over has come in 4 of the New Orleans Saints' last 5 games. The under has hit in 13 of Kansas City's last 20 games. And the one that really speaks to me in an under game, as I've proclaimed, the under in 4 of Kansas City's last 5 games against the Saints. Repeat, the under has come in 4 of Kansas City's last 5 games against the Saints. Give me Kansas City to win this one, 21-17. It's an under 43 kind of game. Stack up as I think is necessary, and we will meet again. How about we get together for Thursday Night Football, followed by Bottom of the Barrel out Friday. Be good, be safe, and hopefully you've enjoyed Week 5. Give me Kansas City to win, 21-17. Bye-bye.